So Extreme TEQ as a type leaves a lot to be desired, but I've sorted the units into 7 tiers and now it's time to go over it. If you missed it last week, I did one of these videos for Super TEQ and we're following the same rules and tiering guidelines here. We're covering every Dokkan Fest and LR as well as any units that came out or got an awakening in 2020. And I also did a top 10 video for Extreme TEQ on Wednesday, and here are the results. Because we focus more on the unit's overall characteristics in this video rather than how good they are at a specific role, you'll notice a couple differences from that video and this one. And finally, the units in each tier are not in any particular order, so let's get into this. Tier 1 is made up of units that are just really good. They're close to perfect, not just at what they do, but in general. They don't really have any big weaknesses, or the weaknesses they have no effect on how they're used. These are ideally the cards that are most well-rounded and versatile. LR Broly is just overwhelming power. His defense leaves a little something to be desired, but the weakness is nothing compared to just how strong this unit is. And Raditz is incredibly versatile. He has good stats in the 1v1 as well as guaranteed stuns and damage reduction versus multiple enemies. Buff Boo's dependence on having high HP is basically meaningless on the Majin Buu team. Most good Majin Buu units now heal, so you'll often have 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction, and then Majin Buu himself will heal you if he gets hit that turn. And while he didn't make the top 10 list because other units did specific things better, he's balanced and quite strong. Exchange Buu also makes it to tier 1. People will criticize his lack of defense from his passive, but you'll be in evil Buu form most of the time, which affords you the overall damage reduction and dodge. You also get so much utility from his sealing and stunning for Super Battle Road, and the leader skill is just fantastic for Buu units. Then for the longer events, when you do see Super Buu, you get fantastic damage and innate crit. Second form Cell is a fantastic support, offering 50% attack and defense to Extreme TEQ allies. He also greatly debuffs enemy attack and defense on Super, and while he doesn't have an absolute monster he enables like his Super counterpart, his links make him a lot more viable for Extreme type teams. Having big bad bosses is a huge plus. And tier 2 consists of units that are still really good but have 1 or 2 big weaknesses that don't necessarily limit their use, but they are things that keep them from being 10 out of 10 well-rounded units. EZA Golden Frieza is very good defensively, but his HP restrictions can cause him to fluctuate from being a defensive god to just pretty good defensively. He's also a bit offensively weak as well. Free-to-play future Android 17 is one of Extreme TEQ's best and most accessible stackers. He has a great linking partner and gets a 25% crit chance when linked with her. The issue is that you do have to have the Android 18, but the pair work really well together. LR Goku Black and Zamasu are still quite strong, but they take too long to build up. Once they're set, they tend to be hitting some pretty decent numbers though. Merged Zamasu brings some nice passive skill debuffing to the table along with good offense and ally support in his super attack, but unfortunately he's a bit defensively weak, and by a bit I mean very defensively weak. And Golden Frieza and Sorbet are extremely good for a free-to-play unit. They have guaranteed crit and guaranteed stun for the turn, provided that they get hit first. They have a pretty decent attack and defense boost in their passive, and they get damage reduction if you fall under 50% HP. And tier 3 is made up of units that are still pretty good, but have 1 or more weaknesses that really do hold them back. Transforming Frieza, for example, isn't terrible, but he's just a little too weak all around. He starts off with only 80% attack and defense, and as he transforms, that attack goes up and that defense goes down. You eventually end up with only 120% attack and no defense. The new awakening for Angel Frieza makes him a great stacker. Unfortunately, he doesn't have many categories and he needs a full team of Otherworld warriors to activate his passive damage reduction. That category is extremely niche, so he usually won't have that working for him. However, he does also give some decent orb changing. Super Saiyan 3 Broly struggles with having too few categories. However, after his EZA, he does do pretty well offensively. While he does still lose defense, his EZA helped take that from debilitating to just an inconvenience. LR Demon King Piccolo is, like Super Saiyan 3 Broly, a nuker unit. However, he gets a flat boost per orb. He does change orbs for himself, but his main issue is that he's just a Namekian and that team needs a lot of assistance. LR Prime Battle First Form Cell does have some good things in his kit, like attack and defense debuffing that seem useful, but are unfortunately locked behind getting that 18 ki consistently. He does give himself ki with each super attack, but it takes too long for any of the modes he would be relevant in. EZA Majin Vegeta is decently strong. His issue is just that he has a low stun chance on the AoE and relies on your total HP for his attack boost. He also gets 1 really nice turn when you fall under 60% HP, but that is only once per stage. And Golden Cooler has some nice ally support and the always beautiful immense damage modifier to go along with his attack stacking. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite have all the good Frieza and Cooler links he needs to be a solid member of the most malevolent clan team. That, along with needing Dragon Ball Heroes allies to activate his full potential, keeps him a bit restricted. And Tier 4 is the niche tier. These are units that are good in certain modes or for very specific teams. TEQ Cooler is really only good for the Legendary Goku event and Infinite Dragon Ball history. He's held back by not having an awakening and, as such, being stuck with free-to-play SSR stats. World Tournament Mecha Frieza needs Wicked Bloodline units to get a decent boost to attack and defense, but he supports the Revenge category, which only has Golden Friezas, Metal Coolers, and the GT Angel Frieza. This means he's only really going to be good with specific units, and that keeps him in Tier 4 for me. The LR Tech Ginyu was actually a pretty decent support unit on paper if it weren't for his links. He was made to work with the free-to-play Ginyu Force team, and so all of his links outside of legendary power are Ginyu Force related. Tech Hit's lack of defense is something a lot of people call out, but honestly even his offense is kind of lacking nowadays. He has a decent stun chance and attack debuffing, but that lack of defense does hurt him quite a bit. He's a little useful for Super Battle Road, but not really the best choice. Perfect Cell is old. He's a budget nuker, but that is all he really is. He's extremely accessible and makes for a decent LR Cell linking partner, which is the reason he's not lower. But you've got two better Perfect Cells now. And Tier 5 are units that are usable if you have to, but still kinda bad. Lord Slug does a lot of different things, but none of them particularly well. His EZA has made him a decent free-to-play unit, but he doesn't really excel at anything. He's also a Namekian, which does hurt his usage. Cyborg Tao can get decent if he gets hit 4 times. He has a low stun chance, bad links, and really not many categories. And I checked Rainbow showcases for EZA Super Saiyan Vegeta. With 2 supports, he was hitting a little over 1 million. If you repeatedly dip under 80% HP, he's gonna get better, but if that's what he's starting off with support, that is just barely okay. And you know how last time we didn't have any Tier 6 units because Tier 6 is the garbage tier? Well, unfortunately Extreme TEQ was not quite as lucky as Super TEQ this year. Nova Shenron has 90% attack and defense in his passive after he EZAs. He provides 30% support for an extremely limited category, and it's literally the only category he's on. He's awful. And before writing this script, I made a spreadsheet with each unit that had little notes about what they do, how good they are at specific things, you know, stuff like that, usually at least 1 or 2 sentences. Do you want to know what I ended up writing down for TEQ Android 13? Bad. Just the one word, just bad. So take that for what you will. He's mediocre even on the Android team. And while we had 2 smelly garbage tier units, none have ascended to the true S tier, Tier 7, the meme tier. Better luck next year, Extreme TEQ. So it's the middle of October as I finish this video, and just like I said in the Super TEQ video, I plan to keep these updated throughout 2021. So if you're watching this in the future, 1, I hope things are better for you, and 2, if there's a unit I didn't mention, check down in the pinned comment below. And of course, these were my opinions, and you're welcome to disagree with me in the comments, and you can catch me next week with a top 10 and a tier list for Super Int. I was trying to figure out which type to do next, but if I don't go in order, I will literally explode. So subscribe to get that sent to your sub box, and I'll catch you all later. Have a good day, a good week, a good life, and happy summons. Goodbye.